Tyler Lockett has restructured his contract with the Seahawks, and of course it drops on a Saturday night while I'm trying to hang out and chill. I got a beer on me. Not sponsored, but we'll take a beer sponsor soon. We're looking for them. Let me know. He is restructuring, okay? So he reworked his deal. It's a 2-year deal with a $30 million base value and $4 million available in incentives. He gets $13 million guaranteed for 2024, keeping him in the fold for at least another year. Well, what's interesting is he's entering his age 32 season. They decide to keep him. It makes sense for Tyler Lockett. He gets money up front right now with that guaranteed money, and it roughly clears up another 10, 11, or 12-ish. Some say 14, but let's just say on the biggest end, it's 14, lowest end, 10 million in cap space for 2024. Now, it kind of doesn't guarantee anything for Lockett next year being on the Seahawks, but I think they're just going to take it in a year-to-year basis based on if they're contending, based on his performance. You know, wide receivers don't usually make it that far past 33, 4, 5, right? Like, that's when you start to slow down. I just never saw Tyler Lockett leaving Seattle regardless. He's big in the real estate game now in Seattle. And overall, just he feels like a Seahawk for life. Kind of reminds me of a Bobby Wagner. That 1 year of Bobby Wagner was leaving was weird, and that's why he came back. And we'll see what happens with him too. But Bobby Wagner now feels like he experimented with that leaving for a year. It feels weird that he did, so he came back, and I don't feel like he's leaving again. I think he'll find a way on a deal that makes sense for him and the team to work out. And let's look at this, okay? This is from Seahawk Nerd talking about Tyler Lockett is still a very good receiver. This is receiver tracking data and first week target shares by ESPN Analytics. If we look on the list, Tyler Lockett is right here in a good bunch, okay? So you obviously would like to be as high as Justin Jefferson or Stephon Diggs. DK Metcalf is up there, very good. JSN was on the lower end here. The open score was very low on the vertical axis here, and on the horizontal axis, the first read, he obviously is not too high on that. But Lockett's almost above in that like elite area with Travis Kelce's, with Ayuk, Lamb. You want to be on the upper right box and to the right of this chart. So he's still right there. He's still a very good wide receiver in 2023. So this restructured deal is pretty cool because obviously he's not changing his contract much. I think he had a 2-year, $34 million deal anyways. He kind of pretty much changed it to a 2-year, $30 million with the incentives that make it possible to be 34, but it clears up the cap space for this year. And that's where I want to get to. I tweeted this myself on my personal Twitter, which, was that the Seahawks went from $12 million in cap space to roughly $55 million in cap space in a matter of 15 days. Masterclass. My favorite comment, though, was when I tweeted this was, stay on that side when we win it all next year, bum. As if I was saying something negative. I called it a masterclass. And I'm glad that other people noticed this. We got a couple responses. How high are you? L plug. I said, I'm so lost. He says, my sources are telling me I reread the tweet wrong, or I read the tweet wrong. Got to look into this. So obviously, Saturday night, brother's just feeling it. I totally understand. This was a masterclass. $12 million in cap space roughly saved. $55 million in cap space pretty much out of nowhere, right? Because $12 million a week ago, and now we're here. This tells me one thing. The Seahawks are bringing back Leonard Williams. I don't foresee any situation now where with $55 million in cap space that they don't find a way to bring back Leonard Williams. They didn't trade for a midseason for it to be a rental. I think they were pretty certain, if I'm not crazy, that they were not Super Bowl contenders for sure last year. I know that they were contenders of some sort, but I think they know they weren't like the Chiefs or the 49ers at that point, which is why I love this move. And quickly, if you want to support us, as always, links in the description. We have podcasts. every week on this channel. We have one of Jackson Beavens from Cigar Thoughts coming out on Tuesday on this channel, and the podcast feed is down there as well. All the other pages, Mariners and Huskies, Sonics one that's opening is there. And get on our mail list. It's going to be the first link on top of the description. If you want to get on the mailing list for all Seattle sports stuff dropping in your inbox at 2,000 email subscribers, we will be doing a huge giveaway. We're about 1,200 to 1,500 right now. I haven't checked today. And so please get on that, and I'd love the support. Back to the video. Tyler Lockett. This is huge for the Seahawks and for Tyler Lockett. He's made himself a homer, right? And I know he's not taking much less money or anything, but the fact that he's willing to restructure his deal, I think Geno Smith had a little bit of a restructure. The fact that we're figuring out the money situation, going from 12 to 55, just means that we have so much opportunity this offseason now. Because the first thing when we were at 12 million going into this offseason, my biggest concerns were all the free agents. I mean, we're talking about Bobby Wagner's and the Jordan Brookses of the world and Charles Cross and Leonard Williams. And it was like, wait a second. We're talking about a lot of, pieces that matter on the team. Offensive linemen, 2 linebackers, our best defensive lineman, depending on what you consider an Owasu, and best mix of interior, best force lineman. I hate this. This is why it gets confusing something, because Boye Mafe and Uchenna Nwasu are like the edge linebacker, edge rusher type of guys. They're not like they're not just they're not like a TJ Watt type of edge. It's just a little different, or JJ Watt type of edge. The point is, Leonard Williams is the most important piece right now, probably, especially as a big body defensive lineman for us. So they're going to be able to bring him back. They're going to be able to bring back I think there's 2 or 3 scenarios for linebacking position now, which would be Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner back and then bringing in a third piece, or they bring back Brooks with another piece, or they bring back neither and get somebody like Patrick Queen. I don't know which one exactly is happening, but this money situation has now opened up all these possibilities. With all of that said, this offense is staying intact, and I think that's what's really cool to see. My biggest concern right now was that Tyler Lockett would have to be cut and restructure, or they just move off of him completely, which I didn't want to see happen. So now that we don't have to see a restructure, I think it's really exciting for this team. We get to see Tyler Lockett with Jackson Smith and Jigba with DK Metcalf. We have the money now. We can also bring a tight end in, because I mean, Parkinson, Disley, they're all out, right? So we can bring in a tight end, and Fant, sorry, it's a free agent as well. So we have no for sure tight end right now. Go sign a tight end. You can use this money to bring back Leonard Williams. Go get your linebackers. Get it set, whatever it is. I'm not going to give my opinion on the full linebacker story. I told you, it's either going to be Brooks and Wagner, it's going to be one of them with another guy, or Patrick Queen with Bobby Wagner maybe if he's cheaper for us. I don't know what it is, but we can do all this now. We can bring back Charles Cross on the offensive line. We can figure out through the draft, maybe get a center, maybe figure some things out, because it looks like, there's some work that needs to be done there, and you never know what's happening if Lucas's health. But all these small, I don't want to call it super small, but all these issues that we've had that I was worried about, how can we fix them with our money situation? We fixed the most important part, the money situation. Now, obviously in football, you have to find a way to be able to use your money correctly and use the draft correctly. So that's a whole nother step. But like I said, the number one most important thing was, how can we do this with our money situation? Well, that's fixed. The money situation is totally fine. You have money from after the draft happens, even you're going to have still going to have money left over for your free agents and to bolster this roster. So I'm super excited. I'm thankful that this happened with Tyler Lockett. I'm glad it wasn't like a cut and re-sign, because the whole time would have been kind of a weird situation to figure out what was happening. But please be excited, because I think this year is going to be awesome. I think if you go to my personal YouTube channel, Sammy on Tap, I'll link it. It's in the links below. I just posted a video today on Saturday morning about the fact that we were 9-8 while also being really shitty in net rating in all aspects of it. This team overperformed for what their numbers say. So if you can get a little bit better with better coaching or better whatever, like anything. Better coaching, better situational coaching, bolstering the roster a little bit. There should be no reason that they don't win 10 or 11 games this year if it's done right. So be excited, because I am, and go Hawks. Thank you, Tyler Lockett. I'm very excited for what's to come.